It was one of those hinges on which history turns.
The people of Berlin, East and West, have spent the night celebrating their new freedom to travel across...
The 9th of November 1989 changed the shape and the destiny of our continent.
Well, it's amazing. It's what we have waited for 23 years or something.
I am born here in the city, and I'm waiting to be free in the city.
But it was also a moment of hidden, unforeseen consequences.
The police commander on duty here at Checkpoint Charlie has suddenly announced that they can go over, even though they may not have the right documents, and they're simply charging now through the...
This is the moment that put Europe on the road to a single currency, and ultimately to the current crisis. It's a story of how political ambition triumphed over economic reality, of how 17 nations married in haste and now repent at leisure. In 1989, many of Europe's leaders had lived through the Second World War. As young adults, they had helped build what would become the European Union. They had dreamed of a Europe with no internal borders and a single currency from the beginning in the 1940s. But no one foresaw in the euphoria of that November night that the fall of the Berlin Wall would give that dream new energy and a new urgency.
I watched the scenes on television last night and again this morning because I felt one ought not only to hear about them, but see them. Because you see the joy on people's faces and you see what freedom means to them. It makes you realise.
But Britain, always the half-hearted European, quickly grew uneasy. Its Prime Minister had also lived through the Second World War.
My brother worked for Mrs. Thatcher as her foreign policy aide at the time, and I remember him ringing me up in the Foreign Office where I was the desk officer for German unification. And he told me my job was to stop German unification happening.
Jonathan Powell would go on to become Chief of Staff to Tony Blair.
And I said, don't be silly, you can't stop it happening, it's going to happen, we should be on the right side of it. And Mrs. Thatcher really did put herself in the wrong position. She was the one out there opposing German unification, whereas Mitterrand, who had the same worries and same concerns, actually used it as a chance to build an alliance with Helmut Kohl and made their relationship even deeper.
The prospect of a reunified Germany with its capital at Berlin reawakened an old anxiety in both the British and the French. For in Europe the past is ever present. How would the new German giant fit in Europe when two previous united Germanys had proved so destructive? Douglas, now Lord Hurd, was Mrs. Thatcher's Foreign Secretary.
It wasn't that she feared the jackboots would march all over Europe. She was sometimes portrayed as believing that. She didn't believe that, I'm sure of that. She did believe, though, that if you added X million highly disciplined Prussians and Saxons to the existing German mix, you'd get something absolutely formidable.